Welcome to the IELTS Success Summit. And in this video, I'm going to share with you an overview and introduction to the reading section for both academic and general exams so that you can compare the differences between the two. There are some similarities. For example, all the question types are the same for both academic and general, but the texts are different, and this is what I'm going to explain to you in this video. And also stay with me to the end because I'm going to give you some tips for the reading section and a really great resource that you can use to practice every question type and be fully prepared and have success in the reading section. So let's get started with the IELTS reading section. First of all, let me just tell you a little bit about the academic test format. There are 3 sections, and each contains one long text. And all these texts are real. They're taken from books and magazines and newspapers. But it is important to understand that they're not overly academic. The reason that the IELTS academic test is called academic is not so much because it's an academic test, but because of the purpose that you're taking the test. For example, if you're planning to study in university or join a professional association, then the academic test is for you. And this is why it's called academic. But the topics are everyday topics that you come across in your daily life, familiar topics about family and friends, education and employment, diet and nutrition, the internet and technology. These are all common topics that you don't have to have any understanding or prior knowledge of to be successful in the IELTS reading academic test. So this is the format that the academic test takes. In the general test format, the topics are a little even a little less academic, if you want to say that, but they are relevant to everyday life, things that you'll come across in your everyday life in an English speaking country. And for both the academic and general test, the complete test is 60 minutes, where you're asked to answer 40 questions, and these are divided into 3 sections. So you'll have 2 sections with 13 questions and 1 with 14 questions. So in this case, both the academic and the general test are the same. But there are some differences when it comes to the general test. In section 1, in the first text, you may have 2 or 3 short factual texts, and they have some relation to each other. They're related by topic. So you may have 2 or 3 short texts of 2 or 3 paragraphs each, as opposed to 1 long essay like you have in the academic section. So this is the first difference between academic and the general reading test. In section 2, you'll have 2 short factual texts, and these are more focused on work-related or employment or even educational issues. So they're not common everyday topics in the same way that you find in section 1, but they're more specific to employment-related issues. And then in section 3, you have 1 longer, more complex test. And this is an essay that's similar to the type of essay that you would find in the academic reading test. But whether you're taking the general test or the academic test, the question types are similar. The strategies for each question are similar. But they all have something in common. And what they have in common in the reading test, and this is kind of the overall strategy for reading is, again, you don't have to understand everything you read. You don't have to have a full understanding. So you don't have to have any prior knowledge of the topics. What you do need to be able to do is to identify important information for the purpose of answering the question. So whatever question type you have, this is your basic overall strategy. You might have multiple choice questions. Identifying information is something true, false, or not given, or identifying the views or opinions of the author. And these types of questions are called yes, no, and not given. And then you have matching information, where you have to match headings and features and sentence endings and sentence completion questions. And also questions where you have to fill in the information in notes or tables or flowcharts or diagrams. But whatever type of question you have, your main strategy is to just find that key information in the reading section that you're looking for. And one of the best resources that I can offer to you to help you with this is by subscribing to my YouTube channel, where you can find lots of different videos about the IELTS reading strategies for both general and academic. But there is a particular playlist that includes every question type, where you'll find 10 or 12 short videos with a strategy for each question type on the IELTS exam. And whether you're doing general or academic, the strategy is the same when it comes to the questions. The texts are different, but the question strategies are the same. So when it comes to your preparation and practice, I'm sure that you'll find the videos I've included in the IELTS reading playlist very helpful for your preparation. So don't hesitate to subscribe to this channel, and you'll find videos to help you with every section of the IELTS exam, and also some videos to encourage you and help you feel confident and comfortable when it comes to test day. So don't hesitate to check that out. So I just want to finish up with a few tips when it comes to the reading section. First of all, you always begin with the questions so that you know what you're looking for before you read the text. So read every question carefully before you read the text. And when you're reading the questions, this is where you'll want to use what I call a keyword strategy. And this is where you just identify keywords and underline them and mark them in the questions that help you identify the exact information you're looking for. And then once you've done this with the questions, you'll go and you'll read the entire passage or the texts that are in the general text, and you'll skim, which means reading every word as quickly as possible. And what you're doing while you're reading every word is, again, marking the key words, most of them the same as the key words that you marked in the questions. And so this makes it very simple and to easily identify the information you're looking for. And one other important tip that I'd like to give you is make sure, if you are familiar with the topic or you have some expertise in that area, don't rely on your previous knowledge, because when you look at the instructions for the questions and you have to enter a word in a gap, if you're completing a sentence or completing a table, they will say, take the word from the passage. Or if you're looking to identify information for true, false, or not given, or yes, no, not given, you have to make sure that the information agrees with the text. Not any knowledge that you have, but agrees with the views and the intents and the opinion of the author. So make sure that you really pay attention to the instructions, even when it comes to every different type of question in the reading section. And one of the ways that you can best prepare for the reading section is to just practice reading a variety of English texts to improve every day. Just get in the habit of reading and identifying key information and read texts from the same types of places that the text in the reading section come from. And this could be things from magazines and newspapers and blog posts on the internet. And when it comes to the general exam, quite often the texts come from travel brochures, even menus or guidelines or rules for certain situations. So these are the types of things to be aware of as well when it comes to preparing for the reading section. So I want to wish you all the best as you prepare. I want to remind you of that really great resource that I've provided for you, where you can find the playlist for every type of reading question on the IELTS exam. And I do want to wish you all the best. Don't hesitate to reach out to me by email if you have any questions or even suggestions for future videos. All the best as you continue to work towards your future.